Hi, Susan.
Good morning. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am doing awesome.
Good, good, good. I'm
Hello,
just,
our What the 50 plus people. Thanks for watching.
yeah, thank you for being here. I'm just letting you know I'm
Make me so
starving to
happy.
death, so I'm eating nuts.
Oh my gosh. So I have to tell you,
Tell
you
me, tell
did
me.
kind of make me go, oh my. I watched your video the other day and I think you were at longboards, I'm not sure. Anyway, you were walking along and you asked the guy for a bite of his hamburger. You mortified me. Just gonna tell you. Because you took a bite off his fork that he'd already been eating off of. That just freaked me out. I was like, oh, she didn't. I didn't know he was going to give you a bite off that. When you asked, it was no big deal, but I was just like,
That's
oh
funny.
God,
And Susan, I
it's
didn't
just
even
me.
think
I
about it.
could never do that.
Isn't that funny? I didn't even think about it. That is hysterical.
You know me, I definitely didn't say anything on there. I wanted to be like, Danica, you
Oh.
just took a bite off a fork somebody's been eating off of. I don't care how well you know them. So
Oh my
that
God.
cracked me up. I
And
just
not
had to
that
say,
you're a germaphobe by any stretch,
I'm
but
not a, yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
not a germaphobe,
but
but
I'm the farthest thing from it. I just,
I do have lines that I'm like,
oh my
uh-uh.
God,
No, 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 can't do that.
that is
And
so
so
funny.
that makes me fake. So I'm judging you. And
Yes.
then I turn around and I'm telling Kathy the other day about those rubber things, for your boobs.
Yeah.
How awesome they are. And she's like, man, I need to get those because the straps are killing me, blah, 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 blah. Well, she's coming down next week. And I said, well, when you come down, I'll just give you the pair I have two pairs. I'll just give you them and you can have them. And I saw that look on her face and I said, yeah, did I just say you could use my boobs, my bra, basically, which is kind of like borrow my bathing suit, maybe a little weird. I get this. I said, but I have a pair I have not opened yet. And I said, when you come down, we'll slap them on you. You can wear them all day, and then you can tell me whether or not you like them. I said, I just don't want you to, they're not, I mean, they're very reasonable at $20, but
Yeah.
so I did the exact same thing in a different way that somebody else would have been mortified, like, oh, you're going to have her wear these rubber boob things that you've had on your boobs?
See, for me,
And
that doesn't bother me.
And even though, well,
You
and
just wash them, put them on. It's just like,
clearly I washed them, exactly.
of course.
But, there's still some people, I mean, I don't buy bathing suits. I don't wear underwear, but I don't buy bras. And now I don't even, most of the time, even wear a bra because of those lovely invention,
Yeah.
greatest invention ever. But, some people it doesn't bother them to buy a bathing suit because they figure, hey, it's been washed. For me, I'm just like, that's my plateau.
Yeah.
But now shoes, and I have friends that are like, oh, I would never buy you shoes people's feet have been in. Well, now clearly I look at them and make sure they're not gross. But I just bought a pair at the thrift shop the other day for $8 and they're $80 brand name shoes. Can't even
Exactly.
tell the toe, I mean, they've worn them. You could tell on the bottom, but I don't see any toe prints. I'm okay with that. So yeah, I just was funny. I was like, you little hypocrite. Here you judged her right away, and then you just did something that somebody else would be mortified that you were going to share your rubber bra with. Yeah,
Rubber bra. She got rubber boobies.
I got rubber boobies. Yeah.
I love
Oh,
it.
which I will be doing a whole one of these days, a whole video on those because I figured out how I can do them without being censored.
There you
Um,
go.
and show them. So that's, yeah, I just had to tell you that because I thought it was funny, and in today's environment, I think it's a great example, without going political, I think it's a great example that maybe what you find offensive, maybe one nobody else finds offensive. Maybe it's a very small amount, and even if it's a majority, at the end of the day, people are still entitled to their opinions of what they like, what they don't like, what they accept, what bothers them, what doesn't bother them. And yeah. I mean, for me to
Yeah.
call you up or to comment on your reel and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. Stop it. People
Yeah.
stop doing that shit.
I would just say,
Once
okay.
again, I tell you in a joking manner because I could turn right around and be like, I was being hypocritical. And I think in today's world, most of us are being hypocritical. So when
I
you're over
agree.
here, bitching and yelling at somebody for what they're doing, what they believe in, and yet you probably believe in something that people think is pretty out there too.
100%.
Just think of that next time, folks. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
Luckily, I thought at the time, and well, I would never do that anyway. I would never put a comment on your real negative.
right.
Hello, wait, let me repeat that. I would never, I would never do anything that was intentionally insulting, embarrass you, etc.
Yeah,
Instead, I do
of
it on this
course.
format because we joke a lot. And, I am doing it jokingly and I'm following it up with, you thought this, and yet you're right over here. Somebody might be thinking that about your actions.
Oh yeah. Well, we all do it. As much as I do my very, very best never to judge anybody. It's just a natural thing. We grow up with it. And it doesn't mean it's like even negative judgment. It's like you look at somebody and you're like, oh, I wouldn't wear that outfit. Doesn't mean they don't look good in it. Doesn't mean I'm saying that they'd whatever, but it's just like, I wouldn't do it. But people would think that's a judgment. For me, I think there's kind of a fine line between opinions and judgments.
Yeah, another great example. Kathy's redoing some art in her house. So
Yeah.
I go in and she says, I want to show you this piece of art I bought. Clearly she likes it. She bought it. I'm going to replace these two with this one. Do you like it? That was her question. And my response was, it's not my taste, though I can appreciate it because I think it's a cool piece of painting. And I
Yeah.
did. What's the word I want to use? I'm such not an artist person.
Abstract.
Thank you. That's the
I don't know
word.
why I knew that, but I did.
It's an abstract. I love the colors in it. I can appreciate the design of it. I think it goes great in her house, and it absolutely is going to look amazing versus these two kind of more dated palm trees that she didn't like.
Right.
But when I'm asked the question, no, for me, I wouldn't put it in my house. It doesn't go for me. And then I laughed and I said, how funny is it that I would react to that? She and I go to art shows often. I just like to look. She likes to look and sometimes purchase. I am a tight ass. I won't purchase art because it's just out of my budget. I'd rather spend it on a massage. But so
Yeah.
often we are opposite. I mean, she'll go to the booth and just be like, oh my God, isn't this amazing? And I'm like, I mean, it's okay. I can admire it, but I wouldn't even consider it if you said you could have it for free. And then we'll walk a few minutes, and then I'm like, oh my God, this stuff's so cool. I love how this is. She's like, really? Really? You like that? But that's why
Yep.
we are friends. That is
Exactly.
exactly why we are friends. We don't put boundaries on our feelings, our opinions. I can't even remember. We had another conversation about something, and I said, I partially agree, but there's some things I disagree with. And she said, well, I 100% agree. Okay.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, and it's like you've heard me say a million times. If people are offended, it's their problem, their issue. And I don't say that to be ugly or rude, but it
No,
is
it's a
true.
fact.
Because
It
like
can
you
only
said,
be offensive if you're offended by it.
if you choose to be offended by it, and you
Yeah.
could just simply say, like you, or well, I don't care for that. Why would that offend you? Or it doesn't matter. Like we say, fuck.
I said
Some
it's
people
not
are
my
offended by
taste.
that.
Why is that offensive? That I
Right.
said it's not my. I didn't say, "Oh my God, that is hideous." Which I didn't think it was anyway.
Right. But even
And
if
I
you
would
did,
jokingly, my dear friends, I actually would be
oh
like,
yeah,
"No shit,
really? What's wrong with
that
you?
is ugly to me." And again, that's
Exactly.
why we're friends. The
Right.
other thing, and again, just because we're in this environment, and I've thought about it, and yes, I have to say it. Stop defending people that don't ask you to defend them.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, if they're fine. You don't need to be going out and being a raging lunatic defending something that they're fine with. And we won't even go into the bazillion things over the years that people have gone out and, oh, we need to do this for them and they need it. They don't even want it.
Oh
They're
yeah.
fine.
Oh my,
They're
all the
fine.
damn comments on Facebook that, oh, but so and so did this and so and so did and you I don't know. I don't even know how to
I
explain
know. And then
because it's
and then
just
it goes off and ching, ching, ching. You know what's funny on Facebook, and I'm sure it's on other platforms
oh
too, that just
yeah.
is my
Oh
go-to,
yeah.
is somebody will ask a legitimate question. Hey, are there always dolphins when you cross the causeway? Well,
Right.
now, if you thought about it for a minute, that would probably not be realistic that 24/7 dolphins are right next to the causeway jumping.
Exactly.
But could be. And still, it's a person not from here asking it. People will be so rude and so ugly.
Yeah.
And then the funny part is a question about is there always dolphins dancing at the causeway all of a sudden becomes political. I'm not sure how politics gets involved with dolphins
Oh, it's
because I don't know
ridiculous.
any political party that wants the dolphins to stop playing in the bay, to
Well,
my knowledge.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's comedy for me because I do look at it that way and I don't get sucked up into it.
Yeah,
Um,
me
yeah,
either.
people, we have to stop. And I posted this the other day. You know, we have to make it a better world for our kids and grandkids.
I saw
And
that.
right now, yeah, and I
Oh,
feel
it's
that
rough.
way. And what ironically was is that popped up as then and now. You know how they do that.
Yes.
And
Oh
so I looked
yeah.
at the then, and it was 2020. And of course, that was COVID.
COVID. Yeah.
And, and then I'm like, oh my God, we need it more now today than we did 5 years ago. I'm just going to post the
100%.
same damn thing.
Yeah. No, and like I wrote a post yesterday. It just popped up, and it's not somebody that I normally see their post, but I think it's very interesting is that somebody will post something bitching about something. If you then just unfriend me right now and blah 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 blah. And you don't need to comment because I don't want to hear any ugly comments. Well, that's kind of ugly in itself.
You kind of engaged in an ugly comment when you said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You
And
actually were engaging for somebody to respond, and now you're telling them don't respond.
exactly. And it was political. It was about being, if you're on that side, I no longer want to be your friend. It's like,
Oh,
wow. And I think that's also so sad because this individual can't even have an opinion on their own and let other people have their opinion and be friends. I don't
and
need
I
to
think
have
it's
you believe in the same religion or the same anything as me to appreciate you as a
how
beautiful
boring would it
human
be if we
being.
all agreed 100% on everything, first of
Exactly.
all.
Yeah.
Um, yes, and I feel Facebook is your page. That's my house. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm entitled to say what I want and feel.
My
But I
house.
also have to be prepared that there are going to be some people that respond. And especially if I'm saying, if somebody walks in my door and I'm like, if you like chicken, you're a fucking asshole. You're a dumbass. They're probably going to respond to that, you
Okay.
know? I mean,
Well,
and defend
perfect. Then I'm
themselves.
a dumbass.
Now, if I just say, I don't like chicken, there's a lot of reasons. I have a girlfriend that does not like it because she works for the Board of Health. She has been to factories, she's been to restaurants. She doesn't eat chicken anymore. She
I
started
very
telling me some of
rarely
the
eat
reasons,
it.
and I'm like, please don't tell me anymore because I actually like chicken and I want to continue eating it, and I can't limit too many things from what I can eat. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's the point. However, going further with that, if I put on there and say, I do not like chicken, you and I were talking earlier, chicken skins. Let's go chicken skins.
Yeah. You weren't
Chicken skin
offended.
for you
What?
to eat is just appalling. For
Yeah.
me, it's a certain way I like it, but not every way I like it. So we had a conversation. But at the end of the day, if you had posted on your site, even a little ugly, that I don't like chicken skin and anybody that can eat it is disgusting. Well, I have two options. One, I look at that and go, well, Danica, I like it. I guess I'm disgusting. That would be my response, honestly.
Yeah.
I like fried chicken. I like fried chicken skin. Okay. And knowing that you weren't literally telling me I was an idiot, and in order to be your friend, I had to quit eating chicken skins.
Yeah. Right. That would be so ridiculous.
That's
And
where we
that
are today, people. I mean, we really have gotten so ridiculous. And
it's
once in a while, I will post something because it's both sides. And I usually comment that you're both guilty. So don't either one of you fire up on me because you're both guilty about it.
well,
It's
and it's
just those, oh my gosh. And I wish I could think of one that, I say I like chicken. Oh, well, then you must hate cows.
what?
No, I don't. My
Don't
intent was not to say I hate cows. My intent was just to say I don't like chicken. So maybe if you're going to go out with a bunch of girlfriends and all there is chicken, every dish has chicken, I would not be the friend you would invite that night. If
exactly.
you're going to be kind and I'm homesick and you want to bring me something, you might remember I don't like chicken, so you wouldn't bring me
Chicken
chicken
soup.
noodles. Has
You're not
nothing to
going
do with
to in
cows. They are so innocent. Leave them out of the But
that's a
that's
whole
how
different thing.
crazy we have
Absolutely.
gotten.
No, that like you're not going to invite me to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Ever.
Ever.
Ever. And that's perfectly fine by me.
Right?
Yeah, it's
We don't have
funny.
to quit
No,
being friends over it. I
no.
mean, I
And it's
have friends that believe differently politically,
oh yeah.
religiously,
Yep.
sexual content, pretty much anything you can disagree about. I have
Yeah.
different opinions. But unless they start getting cray cray, I am fine if they post on their Facebook what they think. And I just go, that's
Okay.
all. I read it and
Exactly.
go, I don't agree, but I
Yep.
still like them. Now, and
Exactly.
again, it's my choice. And this is how I think is the proper way to handle it. When I do have one that gets a little off the deep end, they've gone down the rabbit hole and they start saying where I'm like, okay, it makes me question being a friend with you if that's the way you think, then I do have the choice to unfriend them.
Exactly. But why don't you
Not
just you do
engage
it on
on
your
their
own?
in their home on Facebook and tell them what a dumbass they are.
Oh yeah. Oh, this post, I actually took a minute just because I because I just usually scroll past those things, but I was just curious again how people responded. And you know what breaks my heart
Where it
is
went from
that
there.
what?
How where it went from that post. You knew it
Oh,
was just
oh,
going to
where,
go
where,
off
exactly. And these
the
are
radar.
all people that see each other almost on a daily basis, and they end up, and it happened during COVID a lot, just absolutely demolishing each other and horrible things they would say. And it's just like, wow, you know?
Wow. And you wonder why we have problems in the world, people, when we have these kind of
Yep.
attitudes.
Oh, and
Again,
and
you
and a
always
lot
do
of them,
you.
yeah,
This is my opinion, even though I feel my opinion is right. You can agree to disagree with me, but please don't put something in the comments that I'm an asshole because I already know I am, but you don't need to tell me. The other thing that I do often, because I don't really want to unfriend someone, I feel
right.
like something is going on in their life that's making them batshit crazy at the moment. And usually it's a lot of stress, somebody ill in their family, whatever. You could
Yeah,
do a 30-day snooze.
you can. And you can
And
also
during politics,
unfollow
during
them.
elections, I do a lot of snoozes because I know they're going to go off the deep end and I
Yep.
don't want to unfriend them. But I also don't even want to see the title of their post, even though I don't read it. I don't even want to see or the pictures or whatever. You can do it for a long period of time without unfriending them.
Yeah.
So and I really just did this. I kind of forgot how long I had done it. It just gets very radical. It's a friend of mine, and in certain circumstances when things happen, he goes off the deep end, in my opinion. So I snooze him, and I happened to do this long snooze. I don't know, it was months because I kind of even forgot about him. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing some posts, and they're normal because we
Right.
have a business relationship, so it's some business stuff. And then I went, oh, I kind of
Whoop.
forgot I snoozed him, but I gave it a couple of days and I'm like, okay, he's back to being where I can see him on
Yep.
Facebook, where I can see
Yep.
him on Facebook. Yeah.
There's a couple other things you can do too. Is you could just unfollow them. If and then that way,
Yes.
if you want to go see what they're doing or say hi, you can do that because they're still
Thank you.
your
I knew there
friend.
was another one I forgot.
The other one too is that you can, there's a place where you can say, I don't want to see this kind of post. And it's
Yes.
smart enough to
Thank
know
you.
that that kind of post, and then those won't come up, and there other things will keep coming up. So it's cool that we have some options,
We
you
do
know?
have some options. And, if they were at your house or you're at a dinner, I just had this great example. Love my girlfriend Carrie. I freaking love her. She's from Chicago. I met her a year ago. I only get to see her every couple months when she's down here, but I have so much fun with this girl. But the topic came up at guns,
Okay.
and we clearly had very, very different opinions. Not even this. It was this. And so she made a comment, and I made a comment back, which made it clear we had different. And she
Okay.
said, okay, I'll make a note. You and I shouldn't discuss guns. And I said, and this is why I love you. I
Love it.
think I'm right. I honestly do.
Right. Of course.
And I would love to have a civil conversation explaining it. But by her saying that, I knew she felt so passionately about it that she wouldn't be able to have a conversation with me. And probably if she tried, I feel so passionately about my side that I probably wouldn't have had an intelligent conversation. And at some point, it'd run our friendship. So I thought that was great. And I think that's fine. I think that is absolutely fine to say to your friend when a topic comes up. I think we feel very, very strongly about our opinions, and we probably shouldn't discuss that topic.
100%. I agree. And what
I
is
have
wrong
plenty of
with
friends
that?
I could go discuss my topic with that absolutely agree with me, and
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
just have a 5 hour conversation, solve all the world's problems.
Exactly.
She's not that friend
Yeah.
to discuss that topic.
We talk about other things. We'll talk about travel. We'll talk about,
We could talk about a bazillion, and we did. We went right into something else, and we've been together. She happened to be quite a bit in town, in and out over that period. We've been together 4 more times, and she's what I'm trying to go. Don't you think we should do the Kentucky Derby? And she's trying to see him work. If she can jump over there. I did not want to lose her as a friend, and I am not going to lose her over as a friend because we disagree on a topic. And there's
exactly.
probably other ones, and they'll probably come up at some point
Oh,
because
yeah.
typically when you lean this way, you feel a lot of things that somebody else feels a lot of things opposite. That's just a common
It,
pattern.
it is.
It
It is.
is.
And
It
I
is.
I have no problem with people's opinions. And I can have, as long as the conversation stays civil, it's actually really fun, I think, sometimes to have those conversations because
I think it's educational.
exactly, because we
I
learn so
can't
much. We can look at a
hear
different point of view. And I think that's important.
why do you think that way?
Yeah.
And what is it based on? And I'm going to tell you. there have been times after someone very intelligently had a conversation about their opinions, did not insult me or degrade me for my opinions.
Yeah,
So those are very important parts. They got finished
absolutely.
and I went, I did not grow up in that environment. I would have never thought about it that way.
Yeah,
And you have changed me some. And sometimes
exactly.
they've changed me completely.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There have been different subjects. I'm like, okay, wow, never thought about it at all that way. Again, because like you said, growing up or just what we learned or just who we are,
Your
whatever reason.
experiences, your
Yeah,
environment. I'm going to assume probably there's something in her environment that has happened that she felt so strongly. No
yeah,
point in continuing the conversation.
no,
We are both very intelligent women, but we're both very intelligent women that
yeah,
topics off the table just don't go there. Immigration, with me, I am very limited what I will talk to people about because I have experienced it with customers and clients and friends that work for pretty much. I think I've hit every degree of law enforcement, as well as I have a firsthand in the immigration process system in today's world and back before.
right,
So I will have an intelligent conversation with you based on personal facts. So you can't tell me it's my opinion. They are
right,
personal facts. However, I also know I have friends, doesn't matter. They're not going to hear me. No matter what I say, they feel very strong in their opinion. And so that topic does not need to be discussed if I want to keep that person as a friend.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's perfectly fine. That's a lot of times people, I've had friends in the past that you couldn't have difference of opinion and still be friends regardless. And that's fine.
Oh,
You don't want to
I
like
have.
me because I like this or don't like this or do whatever, then that's on you and that's okay.
And I have, they will always be a friend to me for the period of time in my life they were my friend. They're just
Exactly.
not my friend in this period of my life.
Just a
And, I
season.
always like to reference books. You were amazing in that chapters. I'm so glad you were a part of my life. But now it's just, I don't wish you any ill will, etc. But yeah, there's just some things.
Yeah.
And family too. You got
No.
to throw in that family because and again, this is a topic that people will disagree with you that I don't care what, no matter what, family is family.
Yeah.
I respect that. You have not experienced things I've experienced in my life that became a necessity to walk away from family members. It
Same
was
with
not
me.
good for my mental health.
Yep.
And
And I have
since
people
I
tell
have
me you always have to love your family. It's like I don't dislove my family, but there are some that I cannot have in my life, just like you said.
great example, yeah, I don't just, you're right. I still love them,
Yeah.
but I can't have them in my life. And making those changes, and as time's gone on, not having in my life, yes, my mental health has improved. It's
Yes.
made my relationships with my friends stronger because now I reach out for that sister bond. So I have picked up that sister bond with somebody that makes me feel good about myself. And I say
Exactly.
sister bond, but
Yeah.
whether it's brother and uncle, father, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and you and I are a great example. We've sat here and many of these things up to this point we've agreed, but you and I've had situations where we've disagreed.
Yeah.
And or you've said something and I think I absolutely do not agree with that. Guess
Yeah.
what? I just don't say anything.
Yeah. And I've done the same with you because
It's not
there's
anything
no
that's going
point.
to change my life moving on. Again,
No.
I understand people feel very passionate that they feel they have to in relationships on a form of opinion. It has to be a pretty strong. I can't even think of anything. The only thing I could think is narcissist, and that's not a form of opinion. It's a personality. The
Right.
way I have stopped being friends with friends and family is personality wise. There's never been anything so strong to me that I'm like, I guess that's how you think. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I think you're batshit crazy, but I like these other things about you. I laugh and I have fun with you. And, we have a lot of similarities of going to the movies or eating food. So I'm not going to end this friendship over that.
Exactly.
But people jump so quickly to end 30, 40-year relationships, to cut off family
Yes.
over just opinions and not even attempt to maybe discuss it or again find out why do you feel so passionately that way. What has happened in your life that you
Exactly.
are just
Oh no,
You're
it's
willing to get in a fight in it over in the streets.
exactly.
There is nothing I feel so passionately about unless I have to defend myself. Now that's different. Obviously, if my life is threatened, I'm going to have to go in the street and fight. And hopefully it doesn't get that way because it is kind of scaring me at this point that I may have to pull the guns. Now you know which side I'm on, to defend myself.
Exactly.
But I do have to tell you something very funny.
Okay.
So many, many episodes ago, I mentioned a friend of mine bought me a sticker that says, fuck around and find out. And it has two guns on it. And I put it on my front window for anybody that thinks it would be okay to come in and take my things that I've worked very hard for. They
Okay.
clearly understand. No, my possessions are not more important than your life. So you need to decide if your life is more important than my possessions. That's
Yes.
what that says. Clear enough. But I have a Ring doorbell. And I have a lot of times you get the same UPS guy, mailman, but they switch often too. So when
Yeah.
the new guy comes up, I always love that he's some of them don't pay any attention. Some of them are toodaloo and they're looking at my little sign that
Luluin.
says, please put the package in the vase so people don't see it and are attempted to steal it. So, he sees that. So then he's looking around to see if it, and then he sees it. And it's so funny because this is what I get. I get that. Or it's so funny. The other ones are like, and then I get some that are like they're looking around like, shit, is she just going to shoot me because she thinks I'm stealing her package? No, I see your UPS truck in the background.
Funny.
However,
That
this
is
just, and
funny.
the reason she got me that and put it up because somebody did steal a package about 2 years ago. And he was so cool with it. I have to give him a little bit of credit. I have to say this. He rides his bike up into my driveway. He sits it down, no hurry. He walks up, picks up the package, walks back, picks up his bike, and leaves. And I am not kidding, literally in about that speed. So
Wow.
clearly, any neighbor that would have been watching him would have thought Susan's having him pick her package up.
Yep.
Because that's literally what I thought. Like, you totally look like I had, he wasn't doing one of these. No, he looked like he was supposed to put the package up. Now, the funny part is, it was in a La Sur
Okay.
kitchen, yeah, which we know is high dollar,
Yep.
but it was just matcha tea. It was just matcha tea bags, which you probably didn't even know what matcha tea is, and put it
That's
in. And the funny part is, if he had tried to rob me the week before, he would have gotten this awesome coffee maker that was quite expensive. So I thought that was karma.
that's
So
good.
anyway,
Yeah.
fast forward to the story now. What was so funny is the other day, apparently somebody wanted to know what my package was, that this individual delivery guy did not take any time. He just came up and kind of tossed it and took his picture and left. Didn't pay
Okay.
attention. There's a sign that says, please put it in the vase. That's okay. Not his job. It's a courtesy I'm asking for. So my Ring doorbell goes off. I'm home.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I look and I see the package has been dropped off. So a few minutes later, the doggies know, freaking dogs are so genius. They know whether it's a delivery or somebody else coming up. I don't know how. I don't know if it's certain times. It just is funny. They don't
Wow.
bark. When the delivery package is dropped off, they don't bark. So all
Okay.
of a sudden, Raina barked. So I don't pay attention to Fiona because sometimes she'll bark if a fly is in the house.
Yeah. The
Raina
air.
does a roof. I know. So when Raina does it, I am like up out of my seat and I go over and I open the curtain and this gentleman is just about on the porch. I hate to profile, but he didn't look like he had any intent except for taking my package. That's all I'm going to say. Just that was just
Your thought.
my thought.
Yeah.
So I knocked on the window and he looked up and as I knocked and as he looked up, the sign is right here and I went and he looked down and he read it and he freaking ran.
Oh my gosh. That's
And
amazing.
I loved it. And I can't figure out how to get it off of my Ring video thing. And I have 30, well, now I have like 20 days because it's going to expire in 30 days. I have it set up.
Oh,
I
you've
want
got
to
to
get it
figure
and
it
post
out.
it because it's freaking. And the only problem is people can't see what I'm doing, but they're still
Raw
going to see him, coming up and,
and running. Oh, that's awesome.
oh,
Yeah, you can put in the description. I knocked on the window and pointed, and this is what happened.
yeah. And
Yeah.
this is the sign or
It's not,
something.
yeah,
As soon
yeah.
as I
Oh my
can, so I
gosh.
have a, uh, help me into Bling. How do I get this video off of here? I am still laughing about it. And now every time my doorbell rings, I laugh about it.
That's a,
Um,
oh my gosh.
and I'm just thinking, again, me profiling, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking I see him going back to his friends, and he's like, hey, whatever you do, don't go to that house because she's there
Exactly.
and she's got
She's
guns
got a
and
gun.
I think she was going to shoot my ass.
No,
Now,
yeah,
I
hopefully
would
they told
not.
all his friends, all of them.
Oh, yeah. Now, yes, I have the gun right there. I would not display the gun because I don't display a gun unless I'm getting, I mean, I'm displaying it because I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I was trained. I don't display my gun unless I feel I'm going to have to shoot you. As I did in the story, that the police officer showing up at my house at 3 in the morning to let me know it had been reported somebody was in the neighborhood stealing shit. I showed up at the door, the window, with my gun because I'm going,
Yep.
that's, I was going to shoot the person. Nobody should be at my door at 3 o'clock in the morning. And there would have only been an officer, and I'm sorry, guys, it's just my opinion, or a woman bleeding to death. That I would have put the gun down and called I still wouldn't open my door, called 911.
Yeah. Call
That's the
them.
only two ways I'm opening up my door to anybody at 3 a.m. in the morning if I don't know you.
Yeah. I don't want, yeah. I don't,
It's my
can't
world.
understand why people would think you would. We had a situation when I was younger. I was probably 10 or so, and my brother was not home, but my cousin was in the back, and some guy came up to the house, knocked on the door. I had people there, so I wasn't, and back then, you didn't feel quite as threatened all the time. But he walked up
Not your
and
first thought.
he said, "Hey, what are you doing? Is your parents home?" And I said, "No, no, my brother ran next door, whatever." And he didn't realize I was still not alone. He went to open the door, and that's when my cousin walked up, and he backed up. And as he backed up, I looked down, and he had blood on his hand. And he said, "Excuse me, what can I do for you?" And he went, "I'm just looking for some matches." And he said, "Fine, go get some matches." And he stood there, came back, handed him the matches, and he took off. He ended up, it was, he had beat the crap out of a neighbor's car. I guess just, I mean, demolished it, and they were having some domestic feud. And he was just going to walk right in my house. Who knows if he was on drugs? It was scary as hell.
And if
So
he
I
just
was,
beat the hell out of somebody's car, his adrenaline has now taken over his sense of thinking.
yeah, and we don't know
That
what
happens.
happened before that. We don't know, what happened with the people, but we called the cops. And so he went over and they did their thing. I can't
And
remember.
I
It
was
was
just
so
getting ready to
long
tell you, I would
ago.
have never opened the door for matches. But you know what? When I was 10,
Yeah.
we lived in a different world.
Yeah. And he was already there. And so he was
Now,
he was trying to
I'd have been
diffuse the
like, no
situation.
matches here. You need to move along.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And I
Slam the
would have,
door.
at the same time, held up my phone and been like, you need to move along.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm calling the
Yep.
cops. Now,
Exactly.
I am very fortunate. I feel very secure. My neighborhood is definitely improved. I bought it on the ground level, which it
Yeah.
was a scary. It was a little scary when I first bought it. I'd make sure you got to your car at night. Almost not quite that bad, but concerned. But my
Yeah.
next door neighbor is a retired Marine,
Okay.
is in charge of the TSA.
Okay.
Looks like he might have played football, and his wife have decided to adopt me in that they know to keep an eye because of my living situation. So
Okay. I love
he is
that.
the one that had the cops come to my house that night. God love him,
Yeah.
because he saw somebody in his cameras breaking into a neighbor's car. He called the cops. So when they came, he said, "Hey, would you do me a favor? Would you go next door to my neighbor Susan and just make sure she's okay?" Because they
Good.
didn't
I
know where
love
the guy
that.
went.
Right.
I love that.
I
Oh,
do
yeah,
too.
they got a
I
huge
do too.
Yes. And so the officers that, once everything settled down and all of that, they made sure I had a gun permit, et cetera. They said, "Would you like us to do a walk around of your house and or yard?" And I said, "Well, I feel pretty confident in the house, but why not? Because I do have a laundry room and a garage." And I
Yeah.
said, "You know what? That's great if you would do that." And so they did a
Absolutely.
walk around, walked around the whole yard with the flashlights, and I turned on floodlights and everything just to make sure. So kind of in today's environment, pattern of behavior, most of them are not bad. Yes,
Exactly.
there are some bad ones. So can we just not judge them all on some
Yep.
bad ones?
Yep. Exactly. I love it.
Because,
Full circle, back to judgment, which is awesome. Is it's time for us to go?
well, there you go.
No, I love it.
So
And
people
yeah,
go out there, be a little kinder, be a little nicer.
yes.
Always consider what somebody else is going on in their world.
Watch
And,
out for each other.
walk away and let it go if you can. Just walk
Yeah,
away. Don't engage.
exactly.
You
And
don't
if
have
you
to
have an
engage in every
opinion,
conversation and everything that's happening in the world.
nope. And if you have an opinion, that's awesome. Share it if you will. But like she said, I agree. I would always try to share mine kindly and whatever. So I love it. So say hi to everybody. We're getting ready to go. Say hi, Aunt Susan.
Hello.
All right. I'm hoping she'll watch all these episodes. Well, she usually hears them anyway. So hopefully, are you learning something from our What the 50s?
I don't know.
You don't know yet. That's fair. That's honest.
Probably going to come back and have things to teach us after watching them. Are you kidding me?
I think so too.
That's going to be more like it. She's
I
like,
do too.
you girls might have been a little off on this. So let me tell you how it is.
Exactly. This is how it goes. Awesome. Well, I love you
Everybody have
so.
a fabulous, fabulous day.
Yes.
Love us, comment, share, and hopefully tune in again.
Yes. We'll see you next time.